Is it on site between the Gojo clan and the Zenin clan? And in fact, why do all of the big three clans hate each other? Let's talk about it. And before we dive in, big shout out to Yatlord for the question today. Thank you so much for the support, man. All right, so before we specifically talk about, the Six Eyes Limitless user and the Ten Shadows user, let's talk about the clans as a whole. And unfortunately, there's not some like really cool piece of lore in the past that explains the bad blood here. It's more so just a rather ordinary and dull reason for why they have conflict, and it's just power, right? Each of them wants as much power as possible. We don't know the exact details of how these three specifically became the clans in power, but, and I think I put a video out on this like a while back. I have a personal fan theory that it's because each of these clans is representative of the three great vengeful spirits of Japan. And we know at least that that's basically true for the Gojo clan. So, maybe some events of the past, led to crazy binding vows, vengeful cursed spirits that then blessed these clans with very powerful techniques, which then, of course, allowed them to climb the societal structure and be the ones in control. But beyond that, they all have power, but they want more. Of course, it's a very human thing, right? So they're all plotting behind each other's backs to take out the other clans if they ever got a chance to. And we see this happen a couple of times in the manga. Most notably, we saw that after Maki massacred the Zenin clan, basically immediately the Kamo clan and Gojo clans got together and was like, hey, let's kick them out. Like, they don't exist anymore, right? So we can be the only two in control. And then at the end of JJK, this wasn't directly related to one of the three clans themselves, but we saw that everyone was always politically maneuvering because we saw that the new Shadow Style school was planning to take over in the power vacuum with the Gojo and Zenin clans just in complete disarray. But obviously, Meimei, Kusakabe, and everybody else kind of put an end to that by making Kusakabe the new head of the Shadow School, the new head of the new Shadow Style School. So it's just your typical politics, corruption, and a lust for more and more power, right? But in the Gojo and Zenin clans case specifically, we do know that there was this historic battle in the past between a limitless Six Eyes user like Gojo and a Ten Shadows user like Megami that probably did contribute to there being even more hostile feelings between those two clans. But to circle back around to Yatlord's specific question of was it on site for limitless Six Eyes users and Ten Shadows users if they were just to come across each other, I don't think so, because I do think like the societal structure and like typical decorum would prevent them from just like throwing hands in the street. But as we know, if there was an opportunity for them to fight, to maybe potentially grasp more power, then they of course we're going to do so. And it's all of these political dynamics and histories and rivalries that make Gojo's character and choices all the more poignant and meaningful, because he is the Gojo clan in terms of its political power, but also its actual power, right? As the Six Eyes Limitless user, he could have wiped out both the Zenin clan and the Kamo clan, no problem, and consolidated all of the power within the Gojo clan, which is what I'm sure the Gojo clan probably wanted, but that's everything Gojo hated about society, right? That is why he wanted to rid the world of these corrupt older generations and protect the youth. And nothing is more encapsulated by this than his relationship with Megami, right? Because not even to speak on the, historical rivalry between the Zenin and the Gojo, Toji is literally the guy that like ruined his life, right? And this is his kid. And yet Gojo decides to adopt him as his son. And every other decision he makes is all to protect the integrity of these kids' futures. Like he abandons everything about this societal structure that has been placed upon him. He destroys that old world, and paves the way for the new.